Good afternoon. My name is Brendan O'Shea. I'm a member of the Western Front Association, and I'm here in Woodenbridge, County Wicklow, on the 6th of November 2022 to remember the people from Wicklow who died in the Great War. Not too far from the spot where I'm now standing, there's a commemorative site, and it records the names of 1,640 people from Wicklow who died in the Great War. What's also significant is I'm standing on the very spot that on the 20th of September 1914, John Redmond addressed the Wicklow group of the Irish volunteers, and he invoked them to join the war effort and to go wherever the firing line extended. This resulted ultimately in the deaths of approximately 50,000 Irish soldiers in the Great War, and we're here today to remember them and their colleagues from Wicklow who died in that conflict.
It's a privilege to be here. Your Excellencies, Cathaoirleach, TDs, councillors, relatives of those who are remembered here, ladies and gentlemen. 8 days before the Easter Rising began, on April 24, 1916, Christopher Kit Carroll, a 21-year-old member of the Royal Dublin Fusiliers from Church Street in Dublin, was killed near Benvidier on the Somme in northern France. He was my granduncle, who along with his own uncle Tom Kavanagh had walked a few hundred yards from the tenement room where they lived in 89 Church Street in Dublin to the nearby Linen Hall barracks to sign up after the collapse of the 1913 lockout. I don't know if they signed up to defend small nations or simply to try to make a living in the dire poverty of Dublin. I suspect the latter, because my grandmother, Agnes, Christopher's sister, was an ardent follower of Michael Collins, disliked De Valera, but never spoke of her brother's death in World War I. Indeed, in 2014, 100 years, less two, since he'd been killed in World War I was the first member of Christopher's family to visit his beautifully kept grave in Benvidier in France. Such was the atmosphere in Dublin after the Easter Rising. Christopher's family did not officially place a death notice in the newspapers until a full year had passed. At the time Christopher met his untimely death, 21 years of age, 25,000 Dubliners alone were in the British Army fighting the Kaiser for the rights of small nations, including their own, which had been promised a grudging measure of self-determination. About 5,000 of them had already died, Dubliners, before Christopher died. But the horrific death toll in World War I was only matched by the mortality rates in Dublin. In one part of Dublin's inner city at the start of the 20th century, of every 100 children born, only 36 would still be alive 10 years later. Dublin was a sea of grinding poverty, disease and premature death of unimaginable proportions. 20 million people were killed in World War I, 10.3 million civilians and 9.7 million combatants. Numbers we just simply cannot comprehend. We cannot comprehend. This memorial in Woodenbridge, with 1,224 individual names beautifully engraved, not just stands to the memory of those who perished. It is a testament to the people in the area, the people of Wicklow, and their quiet dignity, their tolerance, and their appreciation of our common shared humanity. It should inspire us to remember others with courage, dignity, and inclusivity. As we arrived here today, we were greeted with the etched words of Ireland's war poet Francis Ledwidge, who was killed in World War I in Flanders Field in Belgium. He was just 29, 2 years older than the average age of those who were killed in that carnage, and indeed the greatest single group killed in World War I were 19-year-olds. 19-year-olds. And the closest to 19-year-olds we have in this gathering is not here with respect, is there with our uniformed scouts that are with us here today. That's how young the people were that were killed in that awful war. On the spot where he was killed, Francis Ledwidge is remembered, and his poem Soliloquy is inscribed, and it is with his words I wish to conclude. Tomorrow will be loud with war. How will I be accounted for? Is it too late now to retrieve a fallen dream, too late to grieve? A name unmade, but not too late, to thank the gods for what is great. A keen-edged sword, a soldier's heart, is greater than the poet's art, and greater than a poet's fame is a little grave that has no name. Yesterday, go raibh anam go dílis go léir, go raibh míle maith.
It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye Piccadilly, farewell Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, for my heart lies there. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Don't let your joy and laughter hear the snag. Smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use in worrying? It never was worthwhile. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Goodbye Piccadilly, farewell Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary.